All right, my friends, welcome to episode 266 of Prof and Dev Play Games, the last episode before the U.S. presidential and other election. My name is Larry. I'm the professor at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony, the dev at Summer Speak. How's it going? This
Going
election
okay.
eve?
It's going okay. Like just surviving the weekend and trying to keep mentally sane for the next 48 hours.
Yeah, good
At
idea.
minimum, or for the next decade if things go bad.
Could go in a lot of ways, that's for sure. I'm
Yeah.
definitely looking at polls and feeling slightly optimistic and remembering how optimistic I felt in 2016 and am now no longer optimistic.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I'm like, destroyed any sense that I can just sit here and feel optimistic.
Right.
Yay. Love it.
So if you're listening to this podcast in the US and you have not voted yet, please get out there and vote. Lots
Yes.
of places still have early voting, or you'll go there on the 3rd for election day. If you are in line voting when you're listening to our podcast, please hit us up on Twitter at Prof Plays Games at Summer Speak and let us know how the line looks. That would be pretty. Yeah, I ordered some really nice beer. I'm hoping it comes in time because I'm gonna need it no matter what.
That's from the brewery, right?
Brewery, yeah, their
Yeah.
once a year to the public sale of their Black Tuesday beer that is just
Nice.
like the best beer I've ever had.
I've had some of their stuff. The grocery store up here stocks it.
Oh,
Last one I had gave me a horrible migraine.
mm,
I have to be careful when I drink beers and when I drink alcohol because some things just trigger really bad migraines. I remember having it and I was like, "Oh, this tastes great," and then an hour later being like, "I just can't even function anymore."
is it because of all content or other things?
I think it has to do with I haven't done a ton of testing, and it would be self-diagnosis in some ways, but
Mm,
I'm definitely looking at like the differences between like ales and porters and
mm,
lagers, and certain. I'm pretty sure certain types of beer like that, families, bother me. And I'm pretty sure ales bother me quite a bit. So I've been trying to stay steer more towards lagers, and that seems to be okay.
I'm totally allergic to IPA, which is my favorite, like generally my favorite kind of beer. So I got like a 24 pack of IPA from Stone that I've been getting through the
Mm.
last couple of weeks, and I sneeze all the time every time I drink it. But I keep drinking it. It's got some sort of histamine reaction.
There you go.
So whatever, worth it. It's good. But I haven't been drunk in forever, and I might Tuesday night.
It just depends. It really depends with me. I do have a couple nice bottles of wine that me and the wife like, so maybe we'll crack one of those and drink for a bit to hopefully let us just forget about things and let things just kind of play out. Because at that point, there's nothing we can do but let it play out. At least
Yeah,
until Wednesday morning.
right. That's how I feel now. Is like I'm doing everything I can, like calling, texting voters, and then when I get to Tuesday night, I guess I'm like I did everything I could. Now I can just relax. And then that's exactly what happened last time, though. Like I did the texting, did
Yep.
the calling. We were calling day of. We were at a party where we were calling, and then the results started coming in, and we're looking terrible. And people were very optimistic, like, no, they're just the right counties aren't counted yet. Don't worry about it. It's like, okay, it looks bad, and then it was.
That
So
goddamn Florida. Florida killed me.
it was Florida, yeah. It was those yeah counties in Florida. Anyway, this is a video game
It
podcast.
is.
This week we're talking about Nintendo. Nintendo had its final partner direct mini, and they showed some pretty cool stuff and dropped some. I think it was one demo that
Yep.
is something that we're going to speak about today on Age of Calamity, Hyrule Warriors. So why don't we dig into the showcase? What stood out to you?
I mean, the thing that stood out to me was the fact that, as expected, Bravely Default 2 is not coming out this year.
Was it slated for this year
Yeah,
originally?
not slated. They said it was coming out in the fall.
Oh, whoops.
I mean, COVID happened as well, and
Yeah.
it hit October, and there had not been a release date set for it. So in my mind, I was like, "This, there's no way. It's not a surprise coming out. Like, this is just not hitting this year."
Right.
But it was good that they put it in there and were showing, like, yeah, it's not. But I am still very excited for that game, and I'm excited for that they're taking feedback from the demo that they released much earlier this year and incorporating that into the game tweaking the difficulty and different aspects. So that was the one that like I was just excited to see more of it and to be like I think it confirmed the date February, I believe. Um,
Yeah, February 26th.
yeah. So
Did you watch the video? Because they said in the direct that you can go watch soon a video where they go over the feedback.
I
And I
have
went and
not
watched that.
seen that.
I watched it. I don't know anything about Bravely Default, or I didn't play the demo, but they showed the comparisons between the two and the feedback that they took, and then showed how it looked in the demo version and then the retail version. And it was very clearly like a lot of good UI upgrades to see whose turn is next. Talked about the difficulty, about how they're
Nice.
going to turn down the difficulty. In some places, you can just switch on the fly, basically between casual, normal, and hard. So it looked like some good stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. So are there any other big surprises in there? The control thing on the cloud.
That was super
That is
surprising.
so fucking weird. One, they were showing control, and I was like, no way. No way is like and they're showing control and they're like showing it look pretty damn good. I'm like, there's no way the Switch can run this. Remedy may be like magical techno wizards and can get a lot of stuff running on low hardware, but there's just no way it can look that good. And it doesn't. But they're streaming it on a cloud. Like, this is crazy.
It's an interesting workaround for some of those third party companies that they just can't run their shit on Switch, and spending a lot of money maybe to do the Witcher 3 kind of thing where you just shrink it down and get it on there. It's
Yeah.
not worth it maybe. It's a $40 pass. I haven't downloaded it yet. You get basically a 5-minute demo and then you're
Yeah.
asked to buy the pass. Did you try it out?
I have not. I did see that they are letting you try it though before
Yeah,
asking for money.
right.
So,
You gotta
which
test
is
that
a
in your
great way to do it and be like, "Hey, everyone gets a fair shot if this works for them or not." So, you don't
yeah.
have to go in blind on this. Um,
5 minutes seems enough time to know if your internet's gonna be able to handle it or not.
yeah, in 5 minutes of that game, you'd be pretty easy to figure out if it's a game for you or not.
Right.
Because it's
Yeah.
fucking weird.
Them and Hitman are doing that streaming thing, which is cool.
Yeah,
I like how they showed how it would look streaming, and I don't think either one looked great, but if the Switch is all you have, it's something.
yeah. It's an interesting way of doing it. I haven't looked into this who if they're doing the stream themselves or if there's a third party
There
going to
is
companies doing this.
there's a third party for both of them. I can't remember the name of it. I heard it on a podcast
Is it
earlier
the
in the.
same?
I thought it was the same. I could be wrong
Okay,
about
interesting. So this
it.
is just a third party streaming service that's going around licensing games to put them through streaming to the Switch.
Right, that's what it
That's
sounds
a
like. And
great business model, I gotta say.
it is, but at least for me, the thing about the Switch is the portability, and that's not going to work.
No,
You know,
you have to have your internet. That's for sure.
you gotta be docked, and I'm like, if it's docked, I'm playing it. I'm playing that game on my PS4 or whatever. But some people
There,
don't have all the consoles, so I get it.
yeah. The company behind Ubitus,
That's
Ubitus.
Yep, you got it. That's the one. I
There
thought
it
it was the same
is.
for Hitman 2 or Hitman 3. Hitman 3
Weird.
2,
Okay,
but that's it. Ubitus.
that's their thing. So yeah, interesting development there. I'll be curious how that does as time goes on. But I mean, that control thing was the day that direct launch was that Thursday.
Thursday, yeah,
Yeah.
4 days ago. Yep.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, this was full of surprises. Those are surprises for sure. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity
Yep.
having a demo was awesome. I've been excited for this just because of the Breath of the Wild prequel story. I like the idea of Hyrule Warriors more than I liked Hyrule Warriors. It just got pretty repetitive after a while. But just having a demo of this, it seems like the gameplay, while it's still Muso, there's quite a bit more variation in your attack and between characters, even just in the demo between like Impa and Link is so vastly different that it's really. Go ahead.
Yeah, today. I played through the demo, all the content that you can access.
Mm-hmm.
And I was impressed, and I actually had questions on because I never played the original Hyrule Warriors. Like, did the original Hyrule Warriors have like the depth of that, like of all the side stuff on the map, and like
Yeah.
upgrading your characters like that? And
Yep.
okay,
Yep, and then I was struggling to remember if in Hyrule Warriors you could command your other character to do other things. That was definitely a feature of Fire Emblem Warriors, but I don't think it was Hyrule Warriors.
Okay.
But they've added that here, which is really cool because I
It
was
is
like
nice.
to go do something else.
Yeah.
But no, there's tons of side things to do on the map in Hyrule Warriors, like a ton, to the point where like I feel like doing that is taking down my timer where I have to beat this at a certain time.
Oh, not that map. I mean the world map.
Oh, the world map. Oh, no,
Where you're
definitely
like going
cooking.
like, oh, I'm cooking, I'm upgrading my hearts, I'm upgrading my attacks.
Oh, sorry. No, none of that.
Okay. Because that actual part I was like, this is cool. I enjoy this.
Really cool way to throw in some of that Breath of the Wild stuff, right? Like the
Yeah, Breath of
cooking.
the Wild, and then mechanically just a deeper RPG mechanics.
Right.
Which I really like. The fusing of weapons and upgrading weapons was really cool. Yeah, I was surprised. Like I got through that first mission and got to the map, and I was like, oh, it's not just go to the next mission. There's all these little things I can do, like try to complete, and I have to make choices on what I want to complete because I don't have the resources for everything. Which is always a fun. I like games when they present that decision of limited resources, can't get everything right now. What do I want? And it felt good, and I felt after playing the second mission with playing that was Link, Impa, and Zelda. Zelda plays totally different. Like holy crap!
So I've only gotten to, I haven't finished the demo, so I haven't unlocked Zelda. I've gotten to the part where they're about to go to Robbie and Pura.
Okay, yeah, I finished that mission.
Yeah, so I
That's
haven't done
that's
that
that's
yet.
the only. Then you only get that first one and the second one in the demo.
What do you mean?
So you get the first battle on Hyrule Field, that
Yep.
mission, and then you
Oh, and then
get
get the one going to
the
the
one to
Robbie
go
and Pura.
to. Yeah,
Got it. Yeah, I figured. But you can unlock Zelda at the end of that or during
yeah.
that?
Zelda unlocks in the middle of that fight. In the middle,
Oh,
sorry, spoilers. Yes, she unlocks
no.
in there, and then you get
It's
Zelda.
yeah.
So you're running around that map with 3 characters, a 3-person party. Yeah, that was cool. So yeah, I finished that, and then it looks like you can do more after that. Like it unlocks another chunk of world map, actual like main quest stuff, but you can't actually do the other things. So because that's I think this includes everything that's in chapter 1.
Right. It said the
Of the
whole
game.
of chapter 1.
Yeah.
So when I was playing it, like my daughter is super excited about this game that she's not going to be able to watch me play because of the battle. Because she's obsessed with the champions and Breath of the Wild, Zelda, and Blue Baby Link is what she calls them. So then I was taking screenshots and recording the cutscenes on the the Switch,
Yeah.
whatever, like screen capture. And I'd show it to her, and then she wanted to play Animal Crossing, so I went to X out of the game because I was in the middle of that second battle and I didn't finish it. I was like, oh, I'll just put it in sleep mode and finish it later. But then she wanted to play Animal Crossing, so I had to X out of it. But as I was Xing out of it, going through the system menu to see if I could save, there was a gallery. And I went into the gallery, and as you go through the game, every cutscene you unlock, it then just puts it into the gallery so you can just watch the
Cool.
movie. So then my daughter saw that and wanted to watch the movies. So we watched the movies, the ones that I had, probably 10 times in a row. And then this morning, it was my morning with her. She wanted to watch it again. I was like, let's see if someone has put together a YouTube compendium of those cutscenes from the demo, and Game Explain had done that. So we watched that 3 times, and then we went and made Pura out of paper, made a little laminated Pura, and she's been holding around Pura all day. So she is stoked, and I'm
That's
really
cool.
excited because that connection, the story and stuff with her, but like it just seems we'll see how it goes in terms of playing the whole game, but so far it seems like there's a lot more variability or ways to mix things up that are going to make this a lot more less tedious or something to play.
Yeah, I think so. I've been pretty impressed with it, and I didn't play the original Hyrule Warriors, and now I'm very happy that Cyberpunk moved because I'm
Yeah,
going to play
and
this.
I was listening to some podcast and like, what are the winners and losers from Cyberpunk moving? Like, well, the winner is Hyrule Warriors because that's not sitting right
Yeah.
next 3 days later from Cyberpunk. Oh
Yep.
my god,
And
it's
it's
really good.
good, and it's built in the Breath of the Wild engine, so it looks so true to Breath of the Wild in all ways. It's so good, and I'm like, how are they getting this many monsters on the screen in that
Yeah,
engine? Like, again, what magic was done to make this playable on any playable frame rate? Because it's still a Muso game. There are so many enemies on the screen.
right. Yeah,
uh,
I don't know. It's the look and the sound. The sound especially
yeah,
just like pulls me back. Like, oh my god, all those sounds. I just
just
want
from the loading screen. like starting into it and the whole thing, like the first fresh new game where it's doing its kind of cutscenes and everything, but it like does it uses the just kind of very basic. I don't know if it what font it is, but just black background, white font. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh right, this is Breath of the Wild through and through. So yeah,
Well, it's
I'm
cool. Nintendo
happy.
had so much to do with this in terms of
Yeah,
story and look and all that stuff. But it is certainly more engaging than I thought, and has
yeah,
really like that's my mid-November game
yep,
for sure.
yep.
And I'm probably gonna play through the demo. I'm gonna play it finish it after this podcast, but I'll probably play the demo a couple of times and mix it up and learn how to play Impa because I was she like
Impa's
disappears and
fucking
collects
weird.
symbols and turns into three. She's
Yep.
fucking bizarre.
I don't, and not in a bad way. I really enjoyed playing her, but I'm just like, this is a total finesse character. Um,
Oh, totally.
Link is very brute force, Impa is finesse. And I love finesse characters, and I think they've. I'm curious about the depth that they got there, and even playing a bunch of. I played mostly Link through everything. I've been impressed with the amount of depth they have out of his move set.
Me too.
Because I was not expecting that much depth. There's like paragliding stuff you can do, and all the Sheikah slate powers
Hmm.
um, all work in very interesting ways, and you can start combining things in crazy ways.
Yeah, and I think that's what adds to the variability for me. Like those little tweaks with the paraglider. I think that the Sheikah abilities are more than just a tweak, but there's
Yeah,
just so many systems and levels on top of each other for just his moveset that did not exist in Hyrule Warriors, obviously.
yeah,
And it just looks better
yeah.
than Hyrule Warriors.
Oh
So
yeah,
I cannot wait to learn about all the fucking crazy characters. Because Hyrule Warriors had a ton of crazy characters, but learning in this partner direct, getting back to the direct, that you could play as the divine beasts.
yeah,
I'm sure it might be like I don't know, short sections on rails or
yeah.
something. But
That's my thought with it. It's not gonna. It might be like a level where you're playing as them. Um,
mm,
but I don't think it's gonna be a constant thing you can do. Because we all know what happens to them anyway. So, um,
yes, I'm wondering though the way that they frame this as like a time traveling egg
that
guardian.
was so weird. I
We
was
call it.
like, God damn it.
I know it's. I wonder if they're gonna try to change the ending because what I hope it is you play as these characters until the very end, and then you switch and you play as Shadow Blight Ganon or Fire Blight Ganon, and just fucking wreck the champions. I can't see Nintendo letting you do that, but that's the
No,
fucking story. So
I don't. I think they're gonna lose still from all of this. I think this is going. They're gonna retcon it in that this is somehow this little time traveling egg guardian thing is gonna be how Zelda knows to put Link to sleep, basically.
yeah,
Like
I could.
that's like the whole. This is the plan. This is the whole plan. Was thought because they knew that they were gonna fail. Like the future, you can't change this future. It's gonna happen.
Right.
But we
I
can at least set ourselves up for it.
Yeah, I hope that they stick with the canon story.
Yeah,
And it seems like that's what they're setting themselves up for by saying
yeah,
this is the sequel to Breath of the Wild. It can't be the
yeah,
sequel if they change the fucking ending.
yeah. So yeah, that was a cool drop. Wasn't expecting it. Wasn't a part of the partners stuff. I mean, I
Right.
guess it's technically not. I mean, it is first party, but not.
Tecmo Koei, so it's technically a partner, I guess, but they're
Yeah,
working with not so
yeah,
much. Um,
uh,
Go ahead.
yeah. No, that's all I have.
Immortals Phoenix Rising, they showed
Yeah,
clearly they showed the Switch for it.
yep,
Which is good. I think that sets expectations. I'm interested in playing that on a different platform, but it looks
yeah.
pretty good. No More Heroes, I'm not a that doesn't interest me in the slightest.
Not a Suda 51 fan.
No, and just, it doesn't. I don't think it looks good to me, but I'm sure they're great games. People like them, so that's great.
Yeah, I liked other Suda 51 stuff more than I liked those.
It
Like
has a
which
very
one?
weird kind of
It is
vibe.
very weird. I'm trying to think. I liked Killer 7 back in the day. Is that the Switch one? I'm trying to think. Yeah, that was No Rose. Yeah, he did. He has very unique games. I'll give it that. No, that was GameCube. Killer 7 was GameCube, and that was cool. Um, but yeah, I wasn't. Never been a huge fan of the No More Heroes games. But yeah, they clearly have a fan base because they keep working on them and making them.
Yeah. Story of Seasons isn't a game that's super interesting to
Oh
me,
God.
but there's one thing that I wish Animal Crossing had, where when you cut shit down, it all just like sucks to your body and like goes in your pockets automatically.
Yeah, I know. Animal Crossing doesn't
That's
do any of that stuff. It is not a game that cares about certain quality of life features. That'd be nice.
right.
And
Very
they clearly
slow.
made the choice that they were not going to do that. So
Right. Yes, definitely.
uh
But I liked what that looked like.
no, that game I was just like, this looks like a less charming version of Stardew Valley, honestly.
Right. Stardew Valley came in, swooped in, and stole their game, basically.
I get this Stardew Valley came out long ago enough that this game is totally riffing off Stardew Valley very
No,
much.
but Story Seasons are the devs who came from the original. What the fuck was it?
Harvest Moon.
Thank you, Harvest Moon. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of
And they're doing that. I'm like, I don't know. Just because it's 3D doesn't make it better, in my opinion.
right. Yeah, I wasn't super impressed.
Yeah.
That's not my game for me anyway.
So yeah, I'm trying to see other stuff that was in there. Was there anything else that was super interesting to me? I don't think so.
Part-time UFO. Just because it's HAL Laboratories, and I think they're really good.
Oh yeah.
Box Boy and other, Kirby and shit like that. I probably will check that out, but it's like a stacking game, so it's not super intriguing. I just like I like HAL Laboratories.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's a new Clay game. I don't know if I heard about this before. Griftlands. Did you
oh
know
yeah,
about that?
it's been out for a while.
Oh, okay.
It's on PC. It's been on PC for a while. It's a deck builder card game, kind of in the vein of Slay the Spire, just done by Clay.
Right.
So, but I haven't tried it because I think it's still in early access.
Okay.
I have a feeling this might be the official, like when it officially releases. I'm checking now to see if it's actually. Nope, still early access.
Okay.
I have a feeling if it's coming to Switch, that's the release.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
That's like the one when 1.0 goes out, but yep, Griftlands on Steam right now. Very positive, overwhelmingly positive. I mean, it's Clay, so the animation and art is all top notch. So,
right.
It's definitely one that I would likely pick it up when it comes out. I like deck builders, so you know,
like deck builders, like Clay.
Yep, seems right in my wheelhouse.
Right. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. I thought it was overall pretty good. Kind of shadow drop direct.
Yeah,
lots of heavy, big news. I would say out of that, which is interesting. Coming right, I don't know, like in the middle of the hype cycle for the new consoles to come out and have some interesting things there.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for me was like they were clear this is the last direct of the year.
They said what I thought they said was this is the last partner direct.
Oh, maybe they were saying it was the last partner.
Yeah, they said I think it was the last partner direct. I still wouldn't be surprised if it's the last direct too, but we have 2 more months, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a matter of I don't know what else Nintendo's showing for the end of the year. Like they've now set up Age of Calamity is their big after the Mario stuff that they released, the remakes and remasters there. Age of Calamity is their holiday game that they're launching with.
Right.
So it's which is a good choice, I'll be honest. Like
no, it's great. Yeah. To follow up on Breath of the Wild and just play into the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the direct sequel, it's still super related. So Pikmin just came out.
Yep.
Pikmin 3.
I've heard that's good.
It's good. I have it on Wii U. It's just not a game that's like super interesting to me.
Yep.
But
hey, you've just summed up my entire opinion of Pikmin.
Yeah, right. Like it's like really well crafted, smart game. That's not for me.
Yep.
And I tried. But I don't think there's a December game, right? We have the Shadow Dragon Fire Emblem, which is not a big game. It's like a $6 game, in fact.
Yeah.
Them redoing NES game.
I don't know if they're going to do anything specifically big in December.
Yeah.
I mean, because Hyrule Warriors is on the 20th, so
right.
I think the next things will be later. I think Bravely Default 2 was supposed to be in here and be a big deep RPG some point this fall, and that got pushed. So I think this is just what they're going with.
Do you think that the graphics, do you like how Bravely Default 2 looks?
Yeah, roughly.
Mm.
I think it's a fine. I mean, it looks a lot like the end style of the 3DS, just with better more polygons. It's fine. I don't think like the character models are amazing, but
do we know anything from Nintendo for the early part of 2021?
From Nintendo themselves, no.
Oh no, 3D World. is coming out
Oh, right.
February. I'm struggling to remember what else they had said, if there is anything else actually.
I'm looking at, so I had some infographics of, this is third party. I'm thinking of stuff that didn't ship that they had put infographics out. Silk Song was on an infographic in March for this year. That didn't happen.
Oh, my heart.
I know. It wasn't even dated in the infographic. It was just like, oh, this year possibly.
Right.
So that's not happening. Did Panzer Dragoon come out for
Not that I'm
Switch?
aware of.
Can't remember if it did or not. Panzer Dragoon. Oh, it's available now. It totally did.
Huh. Well, okay. I guess I missed that.
Yeah, Bravely Default was on here, got pushed. Yeah, most of the stuff on here actually came out. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know about first party Nintendo games.
I think it's just Super Mario 3D World with Bowser's Fury is the only thing that I can.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, is February.
Okay,
So how do you... Sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to switch to asking you how you think Nintendo's 2020 went.
If they didn't have Animal Crossing, it would have been okay. The fact that it had Animal Crossing, it did really well for them in the whole thing.
Right, they didn't need anything else this year, really.
Holy crap.
Animal Crossing just dominated.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the game and story of the year for Nintendo. Is because as of June, end of June, they had sold 22.8 million copies of Animal Crossing.
That's so long ago.
And that was, the game had only been out for 4 months, and it sold over 22 million copies, almost 23. I'm sure by now it's sold probably close to 30, if not more.
It's crazy how, like, for what that game is and what
yeah.
it seeks to do, it does it really fucking well. Obviously there's some, we talked earlier about some of the quality of life stuff that's not there, but
yeah,
is really like methodically paced.
Yep.
I just upgraded my house for the first time.
Oh man,
figured out the stock market game. Like, for the stock market thing, I usually buy them at 90 or 100. Is that usually what the price is to buy them, or is it just fucking all over the place?
No, it's not. It's like ranges between 90 to 110, I think.
Because throughout the week, whenever I check prices, almost all the time it's like 70, 60.
Yeah, no. You can find charts online because that will show you you can plot your expected curve of your turnip prices. Because there's like 4, 5, maybe 6 different potential turnip price curves you could be on. And as you put in more data as the week goes on, it can say, oh, you're on a small bounce or a big bounce, or you're on declining or erratic. One is truly just erratic. But usually after you buy them, at least the first couple days, it's going to be lower than what you bought them for. And then around Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday, is when you start seeing it come back up.
It was throughout like Thursday, and then Thursday afternoon I hopped on during lunch break, and it was at the 160, and I bought it for 110. I was like, yes, cashing in.
Do it. Yeah. Making any kind of profit is great on them. So
I was like looking at the AC turnips subreddit, because that's where I am right now, and there are people who have like selling for like 570.
Yep. I mean, I feel people are when we were deep into it back in March, April, the people at work, we have our own Slack channel for Animal Crossing, and we would always create threaded messages in Slack of being like Monday morning turnip prices, and everyone would list them out, and someone had made a spreadsheet that you could plug in everyone's prices into, and it would show you expected curves for everybody. And so we could see which person was probably going to have the big bounce, and when we would know if they got it or not.
Right.
And so I was consistently selling my turnips for like 500 to 600.
Yeah,
I was making millions of bells.
That's what I need, because it's like it's like $200,000 for this first fucking bridge, and like paying off your home loan, and it's just like there's so much money, and I'm just like picking fruit to fucking make money. It's like there's got to be a better way than what I'm doing now.
Yeah, so, that's how you do it.
I did the Halloween thing on Halloween. We've been looking forward to trick or treating on our island called New Taco since the beginning of the month, when we could get pumpkins, and my daughter and I went in and did trick or treating and got Jack's pumpkin head and all these different spooky Halloween themed things. It's good. They just nail it, man.
They do. I think that they've gotten better with that. You missed out on the Easter event, which was terrible. It was so bad.
Really? Oh, okay.
Basically, and I don't think they'll ever do this again. And it's unfortunate it was that first event because it actually burned out a bunch of people at the beginning there,
Mm,
like myself. So it basically replaced because you have to find Easter eggs. Shocking. But the way that you find Easter eggs is, let's say you're fishing. Instead of catching a fish, you catch an Easter egg. You're digging up fossils. Oh, you didn't dig up a fossil, you dig up an Easter egg. It replaces that thing that you wanted to find.
mm,
And oh my god, was I starting to rage when I'm like, I don't want the fucking Easter egg. I want the goddamn fish.
right.
I'm trying to collect the fish. I don't care about the Easter egg anymore. Um, but it just replaced the things you were looking for and trying to do, and it was very clear that as a community, that's not what people wanted. So
And
I
they
think
learn from that.
they learn
That's
from
good.
that to be like, hey, don't surprise people when they're trying to do this other things, giving them something else. Like
Right.
be additive on top, not replace. And so the events after that have been a lot better. I'm sure I mean, that game, it's just is a shockingly weird game to be so successful, but it's very chill. And if you like collecting things, it's perfect.
Yeah, like
And
the
then
old
just styling
stuff.
your island. It's like I'm collecting things to make my island look how I want it to look.
Or I'm collecting things to make my island look how my daughter wants it to look, which is
Exactly.
a fucking haphazard mess.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's just like, no, this is not how I. Okay, fine. I have a toy box next to this really fancy, sink thing or whatever,
Yep.
and I just have like fucking slides and fucking dinosaur bones all over, just because she wants to see it, which is fine. I'm playing it for her and me.
Exactly. Only for her.
Yeah,
So I think that if all the things this year, that's probably the absolute biggest thing for Nintendo. Like that just is the huge standout success on that front.
right.
And I don't even know if they expected it to be as big as it has been. They probably didn't expect COVID, so they would not have a clue that this game would have been as successful.
Right. It was supposed to come out last fall, anyways.
Huh?
It was supposed to come out last fall, so
Yeah.
if they had hit that original date, they wouldn't even hit that COVID swing, really.
Yeah. So that was cool. Then they did Mario Remastered this year.
Right.
Which seems to be really cool.
Didn't they have something in the summer?
I'm looking.
I was like, oh, it's Ghost. No, that's the wrong system.
Looking. They had that. I don't see anything major.
Yeah, can't think of any big releases this year besides the ones we've mentioned already.
Yeah, it was kind of like a little bit of honestly, kind of a slow year for Nintendo.
Oh, you know what? Fuck. Yeah. Fucking Paper Mario.
Oh yeah, they had the Paper Mario.
Fantastic game. Yeah, what am I talking about? We've played the shit out of that game.
Yeah, there you go.
That was the one I was thinking.
But I think in general, it's kind of a slower year for Nintendo. It was not as big as you would expect it. You're like, oh, they'll have like a big new Mario or your Zelda or Metroid or anything. But got Animal Crossing and Paper Mario and the Mario remakes and now Age of Calamity. And you got a bunch of new Smash fighters. You got that second Smash Pass. What else did they bring? I don't know. I feel like they sailed along, and as the pandemic picked up and people really started buying lots of Switches and Animal Crossing, they really started just giving those people just more comfort games to play, things that people are very aware of.
Right.
From a yep, here's a Mario game. It may not be a mainline Mario game, but it's a Mario game. With like Paper Mario. Or here's going to be Age of Calamity for all those people that I have a Switch now. Here's a Zelda game. May not be the Zelda you remember, but I think it's
something to fill your time with.
It is, and it respects the Zelda franchise. And for people, I feel like it respects people who like Zelda or are interested in that gameplay.
I guess I should say that they also released Mario Kart Live Home Circuit.
That's true, and I mean that's the Nintendo toy thing always.
Right, but it's also got like a 3/4 of a Mario Kart game in it. Like it has like cups with 3 races each, and they definitely there's a game there, even though it's toy.
Yeah,
it's like the most gamey toy I've seen, I guess, from them.
Yeah, they definitely went out of their way to like really push that into be like a little bit less like, oh, it's just going to be a toy,
right.
Which is good. But also keeps it in mind that reminds you that Nintendo makes toys. That's what they aren't just a console and software company. They actually also like to make toys.
Impressive toys.
When was Ring Fit? Is that this year?
Was that this year too? No, that was last year. No,
yeah,
that was not this year. Was that last year?
October 2019. There we go.
That would have sold a lot more if they had more stock. Every time I had stock, it was just gone.
Yeah. I had to do my shopping today, and I had to swing by Target and pick stuff up. They did not have a Ring Fit Adventure. They did have an Animal Crossing Switch, though.
Oh my gosh, I I hovered. I almost bought one. I was like, do not buy it just for the colors. Stop.
Yeah, I wasn't going to buy it. I saw it there. They had one sitting in the case, and I'm like, I could buy this, but I also theoretically have another console coming in a few weeks. So I do not need, and I have a completely fine working Switch. So,
Yep.
uh,
I mean, I'm
and
looking at the turquoise Nintendo Switch Lite right now on Amazon that's back in
yep.
stock. I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. But
This is
oh, it's
this.
pretty.
I'm Larry, and this is my collection of Nintendo Switches.
Yes, exactly. No, I'm not doing that. uh, I'm sure there's gonna be a Nintendo Switch Pro at some point, so that'll be my next
I
step,
would
I guess.
expect it potentially next year, end of next year. I could see them doing that when they put out, or around when they put out Breath of the Wild 2.
Right.
It'd be a good cross promotion there. Do a special
Play
special Zelda version of it. Yep, you'd get me. You get me hard. Oh, here we go. They put out Clubhouse games this year.
Oh yeah, we got that. That's fun family time.
Yeah, just a bunch of, classic games. Like, there's nothing more to say that. Like, but you can easily play them with other people, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah. Some have 2 players, some have 4 player. I think the
Yeah.
online is a bit of the issue, I guess. But
Yeah, it's Nintendo. What do we expect?
yeah, exactly. That's how they roll.
Oh right, I still need to pick this up. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Encore came out in January.
That's right.
I've seen it on sale a couple times, and I'm like, I should pull the trigger on this.
I haven't seen it on sale yet. You have?
Yeah, it's been on sale a couple times on the eShop.
Okay.
So I consider and pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, I think you will one day.
I will. But things that I'm surprised we didn't get. I'm surprised we didn't get Metroid Prime Trilogy.
God, I can't believe that. Like, such an easy thing to put out if you already got it ported over. If they don't, then fine.
They might not at this point if it's not coming out, or it's not at a quality bar that they're happy with. Or who knows, maybe it was supposed to be out. It's just COVID stuff hit, and it's just taking longer to get it to that quality bar.
Right.
That's really hard to say, but I'm surprised we didn't get it. So I'm thinking of other big stuff. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which I've played a bunch of, but bounced off of because that game is insane. It's so deep. Holy shit.
Well, you played quite a bit before you left.
did. It's a lot. I should go back. That's one I should go back to. I did enjoy it, though. It's just, if this is any of the Xeno noun games that exist, they're super deep and super insane, long, big JRPGs.
That's a game that I've looked at on Wii and then on new 3DS and then on Switch. I'm like, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. I don't think I'd like it. I don't think I'd stick with it long enough to get as far as I need to with it, I should say.
Yeah. So it looks really good on Switch. I really enjoyed the look and the scale of it. So yeah, I think overall Nintendo has done pretty good overall this year, in some unexpected ways. But they've definitely had to react to the pandemic world in some big ways.
Yeah, and I think all the game companies have, obviously all have had to do that, but I think they've all kind of reacted in a way that feels normal-ish.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting new consoles, and I thought for sure those would be delayed till next year because of
maybe you say we're getting new consoles.
Well, that's true. I saw
maybe 100,000 people get new consoles.
That's true, because I saw a video of a warehouse with a ton of PS5s, but a ton of PS5s probably is like 1,000.
Is that the Amazon one? Was it an Amazon warehouse?
I don't know what.
I saw some pictures earlier this week that were pictures of pallets of PS5s in an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, that must have been it.
And I mean, yeah, those pallets, I look at them like, that's all the PS5 for the US right there. All like 200 of them.
I feel like every single, like all those videos, all the pictures I see of like PS5s getting ready to ship, next week or whatever, they're all of the disc edition. I don't think I've seen a digital edition anywhere. Like, did they not make very many of those?
I don't think so, because they always sold out super fast on the pre-orders. Like, I think it's like 10-1 potentially.
Dang. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's the same hardware inside, and they can only manufacture I'm pretty sure their bottlenecks is probably main boards and chips and RAM. And they probably want to sell the $500 version more than they want to sell the $400 version right now. And they probably look at what the demand on people are right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if people want discs still overall.
Yeah.
Like the general gaming audience. Not even gamers, just people who buy consoles want discs as they a much more casual person buying a new console wants it also to play their Blu-rays and DVDs and media collection. So
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I kind of wish I would have gotten a disc instead of digital. Not because I would buy disc games. I don't buy them that much anyways. But to be able to have it play those kind of, 4K Blu-rays and such. But
yeah,
my Xbox One S does that, and
yeah,
I'll get that from my in-laws eventually, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah. And how much are you watching anything on Blu-ray right now? I'll be
Zero. I don't
honest.
own a fucking 4K Blu-ray, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Just to have the option. But I'm like, I'm not gonna pay another $100 just to have the option to do something that I don't do with the one I have already.
Yeah.
you know. So yeah,
I
not
mean,
at all.
I don't even have a 4K TV.
Right.
So
That's true.
I'm like, I'm getting the PS5 and I'm sitting here now. At this point, I'm like, I'm going to get this thing. What the fuck am I going to do with this thing? Like, I was planning on playing Cyberpunk on it immediately. That was the thing. Get it? Cyberpunk's going to come out and I'm going to play Cyberpunk on the PS5. Now I'm getting a PS5 and I'm like, I guess I'll get Miles Morales at this point
Yeah,
because I should have something to play.
that's what I was thinking today. I'm like, okay, I've got PSN credit or whatever. Like I want something to play on the new console that I'm probably getting. Astro's Playroom is definitely the first one I'm going to play, not only because it's going to be pre-installed, so I don't have to
Yeah.
download anything, but I'm just super interested in that platformer. And I was like, what? Like, what diverse range do I want to play? Sackboy, but that's a platformer. I don't want to have two platformers, so I want something else. Demon Souls looks really interesting for some fucking god awful reason. And then the Miles Morales into the Spider-Verse skin. I was like, okay,
I give
I'm
you
probably
like 5 hours, Demon Souls.
dude, that is super generous. I thought two, but
I
I
mean, my
feel
honest thing is if you didn't stick with Bloodborne, you're not going to stick with this.
my thing about Bloodborne, and I think I agree with you. The only thing is with Bloodborne, I didn't stick with it because I really didn't like the atmosphere, like the
Uh,
creepy, like
I don't
Lovecraftian.
think Demon Souls is much different. Like, sure, Bloodborne's darker in some ways, but Demon Souls is Dark Souls.
Yeah,
Like, it's from software dark, creepy fantasy. Like, very dark, creepy fantasy. And they always have that Cthulhu stuff seep in somewhat.
let's see if I can get past 5 hours then.
Yeah, I'm like, you said you were getting, I was like, okay. I wouldn't peg that as a game that you'd stick with. I could be wrong. Maybe it hits the right notes for you.
Yeah, it just
Have
feels
you
like
tried Dark
right
Souls?
for
Any of the Dark
visual.
Souls?
Have I what?
Tried any of the Dark Souls?
Yeah, I tried Dark Souls 1 on 360, and I probably played like an hour. Didn't
Yeah, I
really get
mean
into it.
that's Demon Souls is the precursor to that.
Right.
I mean, Sony owns the Demon Souls brand, I think, or however that works, because I think Sony published Demon Souls originally.
I think they did too.
So that's why there's never been a sequel, but that's why they made Dark Souls.
Right. Well, same with Bloodborne. Like no sequel for that either.
Yeah. Because I'm like, if you wanted fantasy, like Dark Souls 3 is probably the most fantasy version of those games that I've seen. But it's still Dark Souls.
Right.
It From has their very specific style and ideas for their worlds, and they don't super deviate from those. They have threads that run through all of them. Maybe Elden Ring will be different with Martin involved, but who knows?
Yeah. You could also not be because he likes some of that dark.
Exactly. It could be pretty freaking dark still.
I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to report back on the podcast in a month about how by this time in December 1st, how far will I have gotten in fucking Demon Souls?
Maybe you'll get it. Maybe you'll get the hook. It's hooks in you, and they'll be like, okay, I'm just going to beat my head against this thing over and over. I don't know if I'd take that bet, though. I don't think I would.
But I feel like having Demon Souls, the Miles Morales Deluxe Edition, so I get Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and then Astro's Playroom feels like three very different genres. It'll be kind of a nice mix for the first go round with PS5. But definitely Astro's Playroom is what I'm going to play first and finish before I do anything else.
Yeah, I think I need to try that. People's impressions of that have been pretty positive, just from getting a sense of the dual sense.
Dad, that controller sounds fucking awesome.
Yep.
Really
I wonder how
cool.
many games are going to use all that stuff, but
no, Sony stuff will,
Yeah.
But I feel that there's some other podcast that said like whatever they said about DualSense, like they have over delivered, which is really exciting to hear.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for that stuff. We're wildly off topic now. I don't even know where we're at.
we're talking about PS5 because we're very excited. Next
Yeah.
week we're going to dig into the pre-hype because next week will be the last podcast before PS5 launches.
And maybe when we're recording, we might have confirmations if we're getting one or not.
True, with Amazon.
Yeah.
And I will give a far better report than I could give now on the DualSense. No, not DualSense. 3D Pulse headset because I have that
Okay.
in my possession and I used it to play Ghost of Tsushima. But I didn't realize that Ghost actually had a 3D audio mode.
Oh,
So apparently they patched that in for some reason. So I'm gonna go check that out and see what it sounds like.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, cool. Well, Nintendo and PS5. Next week we'll talk all about PS5.
Yeah.
That's super close, hopefully, to getting one. Who knows? We're both getting one from Amazon. Did you order one somewhere else too, or just that one?
Just Amazon.
Okay, cool. So we're both dependent on the same vendor.
Yep. I
That's
mean,
good.
they didn't fail me with the PS4, so
That's good. I feel like this is maybe in higher demand. Do you feel that way or no?
it's hard to say. PS4 was sold out super fast too, so
Oh,
that's a hard thing on the demand thing. PS4 sold out its entire launch shipment as well, so who knows?
Yeah.
Like,
who knows? But I am getting the Xbox Series X and then shipping it right to my brother.
nice.
Yeah, he was really bummed to miss out, and I don't really need it now. So
You're like, here, enjoy.
yeah, he's already paid me for it, so it's like I've already got the
Wow.
money.
Okay,
So
he really wants it.
he definitely does, and I was like, I will just change my shipping address and just have it shipped to you. And he's like, I've heard that could get it canceled. Don't do that. I'll pay more for shipping. Just whatever. don't get it canceled. I'm like, okay.
So
Sounds
yeah, I
good.
mean that's the 12th. Next time we'll record is the 8th. There's a possibility we wouldn't get a confirmation until like the 9th.
Right.
It depends on how they stage these out at their warehouses. Because there's times when I get shipping, even where I'm at, the day before it actually arrives.
Right. Yeah, I've had that same thing too. So we'll be freaking out next week when we don't have
Yeah,
anything
probably
on
being like,
Amazon.
oh god, checking subreddits. Has anyone else
Wow.
got their confirmation? And we'll find out that no one has, and then like, okay.
But I will say that I will definitely have, by the time we record next week, I'm sure the Xbox Series X will have shipped because it launches on Tuesday. So
Yeah.
there's that, I guess. I can look at the box.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, this is episode 266, Prof and Dev Play Games. He is at SummerSpeak. I am at Prof Plays Games. Please rate us on your podcast service of choice, and if you live in the United States, please vote on Tuesday or before if you can.
Yep. If
And
you
we'll
live
see you in the
Washington,
hellscape.
just drop your stupid thing in the mail.
No, don't put it in the mail. Put it in the fucking Dropbox. Walk it in.
Oh, you don't drop. For us, it doesn't matter. It's only on it's by post date.
Oh,
Does not have to be in there.
Yep.
Like,
So I'd rather everyone put it in the Dropbox.
true. And there's drop boxes everywhere. Just do whatever you need to do. Just fill
Yep.
those stupid little bubbles in. There's not a ton of them. Just fill them in. Put it back in all its envelopes and
Not
drop
hard.
it in a Dropbox. It's
Although Republicans want to make it real hard, but it's not hard.
no, they're not making it hard for Washington because
Yeah.
Republicans do not care about this state.
Well, they put fake Dropboxes all over California, though.
I saw that. There's no fake drop boxes up here. I was kind of disappointed. Like I said, they don't care about us in Washington. They're like, we've already lost that state by a lot. Not
Right.
worth the time. Which I'm like, haven't you lost California by a lot already?
Yeah, but they just want to say, look, all these ballots were hidden and weren't counted, and the Democrats are trying to steal the state, so they're trying to steal the presidency. Like, you guys
Well,
are
because
so
you put the drop
fucking
boxes up.
dumb. They're fucking dumb, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, vote.
Vote.
And we'll see you next week.
Later.